welcome everybody watching here on the San Jose City Softball Channel. Opening day in 2026, and it's a special one. This game here today is the 100th YouTube broadcast here on the San Jose City Softball Channel. Very excited for this one, and we are happy that we are that we've gotten this far. Is to all of you watching are the reason why we are even able to get this going. And here we are, 5 years later, we are at 100. And starting pitcher for today's game here for the Jags will be Maya Medina. And we're about to get things going here for the 26th season. And the first pitch is for a ball. And we'll get lineups and fielding assignments here in just a moment. And 1-0 is foul. So Maya Medina will start for the Jags. We got Jalen Corona at third, Travell Christian at short, at second, Anaya Zambrano at first, and we'll get the rest of it after this. And this was well outside foul ball. Vergara in left, Bell Walker in center, and Kiara Donahoe is in right. And 2-1 is just inside for a ball. So Medina throws herself into a bit of a hole in her first game. Here to start it. And the 3-1 is lined through for a base hit. So Panuto gets the thing going for the Seahawks, and it'll be Cameron Yamas now coming up. And 25 games a year ago, and hit at 242 for the season. And umpires are having a bit of a discussion. Pitching coach Sal Lewis. We'll get the lineup for Cabrillo. Panuto is in the leadoff spot, followed by Cameron Yamas, who is up now, and Grace Stryker, Araya Morgan, Bailey Fulton, Kaylin Wingard, Nick Powell, Danielle Keller, and Renee Parker. The conversation is happening. All right, so about ready to go here. And outside. And the 1-0 is a foul. So just in case information has not gotten out to everybody, there is a change in the coaching staff this year. And a good one. Throw to first is just in time. But the sacrifice play will advance Panuto over to second. And that'll bring Grace Stryker up. And she is first junior college game. But changing the coaching, so Debbie Rooney was the head coach here for the Jags for 34 years. She retired at the end of last season, as is in for a called strike. Over 900 career wins, just short of 950. 34 a plethora of playoff appearances, a couple of times getting to the state tournament. And you did a lot to get this over the 34 years that she was here. And this one is up high for a ball. And we are actually expecting to have Coach Rooney here on the broadcast at she's but as soon as she has make her way up here. This one is down for a ball. And 3-1 is popped up and out of play. And Martinez will go over to get a new set of balls. So Panuto, the runner on second. 1 out in the inning. 3-2 from Medina is down 4. And Ryan Morgan will come up with 2 runners on.
Ryan Morgan.
So Panuto will stay on second, and Stryker will take the free pass to first. To Morgan is on the outside. Is on the inside, just missed. One. He's up high for a ball. This was swung on and missed. Striker on first with 1 out in the inning. Is in the air to right. Donahoe goes back, makes the catch for the second out. Throw to third. There to get it. Angie Castro, that's over in right. And first is and foul. Right in. This one's on the outside. Just missed. This one's on the ground. Zambrano not throw is not time. And the first run of the game is in. Single.
The third baseman.
And then that will bring Wingard up. Year, but and back to that for Martinez to get that. Fulton
Score 1-0.
so that'll end it for Seahawks here in the first. A run on to 1 left. Jack's coming up. Here at LadyJag Field, bottom of the first. And starting pitcher for Cabrillo is Danielle Keller. A year ago, she had 15 appearances, 10 starts, and 0-6 guys, and hit at an average of 8. Wingard will get the start over at third. Araya Morgan at short. Bailey at second. And we'll get the rest of it here after this, which is up high for a ball. be start at first. Into a 3-ball for the Jags. You had Corona starting off. Quizgen, then Martinez, McKenna Sealing will be in the lineup as the DP, as this one is up. So the 3-0 is on the outside. Into center, and it's right to Parker for the second out. And that'll bring up DJ Martinez.
The catcher, DJ Martinez.
And a year ago, he's played in all 40 games, had 26 RBIs, and hit right at 300. And first pitch is up high for ball. And this one's on the outside for a strike. And this one misses ball 4. So Martinez starts the game off working a walk. And that will bring McKenna Sealing up. A year ago, played in all 40 games, had a home run, hit at 282. Up and drops foul. A great effort from Panuto to try to get over there. And the 0-1 on the outside, taken for a strike. And this one outside. This one is on the ground, foul, right at Coach's eye, who is the new head coach of the Jags. And one is outside. Who makes the catch for the third? So Jags get a base runner, but not able to do anything with it. No runs, no hits, and one left on. 0-0. Going to the second. Second inning here at LadyJag Field. It will be the 6th for Cabrillo. Caleb Wingard starting things off. Pitch. Side. One. Fouled off. Right over our heads. Vergara is going back for the first out. So it'll be 1 out for Powell. Is just high. Up and play. Right off the. One right to Vergara. She will make the catch in center for the second out. And it'll be 2 outs for Keller. is fouled off. Side for a ball. Hoping to get Keller.
Second. 3
And it's 1-0. Jack's coming up. Jose. It'll be the 5, 6, and 7. For the Jags, Zambrano, Castro to start it off. YouTube, great moments. Field, March 16th. And Zambrano start off. It's not some outside. Earlier point. Maya Medina up to hit. But it was that first play. Katie Matherly guys fly with the bases loaded. Down in Bakersfield. For that, going over. They had the first round fashion, and it was an unlikely hero on the ground. Is in time for the second out. That's where we'll be. And she hit at 357 a year. At 23 season, Chelsea Raymond that game send the Jags to the Super Regional. On the ground time, and we will continue this story on. No, sorry, nobody left off. Third inning here at LadyJag Field. And it will be the 9-1-2 hitters for the Seahawks. It'll be Renee Parker starting things off. Is a call. In time.
The leadoff hitter, catcher, starting lane, Panero.
And that will bring us back top of the order with Panuto on the day. And there's another person that is here. LadyJag came back to win. It would be onto a road in Saratoga with a sweep, and the fence bottom of the third here at LadyJag. 9-1 for the Jags. Walker, Bergera, and Corona. And we have a very, very special guest come here on the broadcast. And Walker will fly into the center, and it will be right to Renee Parker for the first out. And that will bring Ari Bergera up. But we have a very special. Special is not a good enough word for the person that we have coming on the broadcast. First time ever. 34 years here as the head coach of the Jags, and now coming on to call her first game. Over 900 career wins. Coach Debbie Rooney on the broadcast here for the first time. Coach, it's great to have you. If you being here, like, words cannot show enough excitement for you being here today.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Wow, it's an honor. Steve's been behind the scenes doing this, our 100th broadcast. It's amazing. So I'm definitely in a different role, not head coach anymore, but I'm moving on to watch the team and celebrate them off the field. So yeah, but yeah, watching Ari up to bat, had her last year, and so she's one of the premier players and also a captain. So see how she does this year.
Mentioned at the beginning, it is a new era of Jaguar softball, and former assistant coach, now head coach Riley Augustine takes over, and obviously coached her and had her as his assistant last couple of years. Third, go to first is just in time for the second out, and it'll take us back to the top of the order with Jalen Corona. In their first hit. In the many years that you've had, like, in a situation, is there anything that you would try to get across, like, in a situation like this? And Unfortunately, we'll have to come back on the other side. It is the ground out will end the inning for the Jags. No runs, no hits, nobody left on as we head to the fourth. Top of the fourth
Leading off the fourth,
at LadyJag
the shortstop, the cleanup hitter.
is the 4, 5, and 6 for the Seahawks. And Ariana Morgan will start things off. So, Coach, go back to what we were started to talk about right before the inning ended. The situation like this is popped up and out of play. We're a couple innings in, right? I'm struggling to get things going a little bit. It's like, is anything that needs to be said, or is it just, hey, let's just be patient, like things are going to get going?
Yeah, that's a great question, Steve. I think being the first game, for the season, a lot of times players will come out with a little bit of jitters, both teams. And I think with them getting some live hitting and playing against, another team versus themselves at practice, it's going to help them to try to develop their offensive game. So, yeah, it is the fourth. It looks like San Jose needs to get some offense going, and I think it's just going to be a matter of hopefully someone starting a little bit of a rally, get a base hit or get a little sneaky bunt to get on base or something that's strategic to get the team kind of. So that's our hope.
Speaking of getting things going, Ariana Morgan with a solo home run to start the fourth. So that is her first career home run. And Coach Augenstein coming over. Possible change is made, and yes, it will happen. Priya Quinones, returning sophomore pitcher from a year ago, will come into the game. Normally in previous years, we would just go to a break here to cut the time, but we're going to switch things up just a little bit for obvious reasons. It's not often but it's not often that we get to talk to a school legend, and one when in the game, especially here in the state of California. But we're going through a couple moments of the previous 99 broadcasts, and one of the ones was 2022, the Super Regional against Feather River. Bases loaded, 2 outs, games tied, extra innings, and Katie Madley hits a sacrifice. 1 out. Hits a sacrifice fly over to right field. Kalea Reed comes across the score to send you guys down to Bakersfield. And one of Matt Falcon's famous calls, grab the tarp, fake the rake the field, we're out of here. Here at work, and we're going to state. Obviously, an exciting moment, but what was that for you?
Yeah, Steve, that game was very intense, and I think for all of us, we were just like wanting to get that clutch hit and successful with finishing that series with Feather River, as they're always a competitive, well-coached team. And so for Katie to come up and set she got that hit and got us going, the game winner. So I do recall Matt and you as well, Steve, with definitely some excitement and some really good knowledge of saying what we need to do to be successful. As I'm watching the game here, pretty cool. We just got a double play, San Jose City. Ball hit to shortstop, and Chevelle turned it to Bell, and Bell to Anaya. So that's a great double play right there. Steve, I think of the career of me being here and the things that I've done. Again, thank you for all that you've done. You've been behind the scenes helping us to broadcast and connect people from across the world. We had people from different, even out of country, listening to you and Matt and over the years. So it's been a really fun ride for me, and to have you. Thank you for all you've done. So I appreciate you and your work.
Yeah, I mean, and the ending for Cabrillo, a run on 2 hits and nobody on. I mean, as much as all of us have done, I mean, it goes without saying, I mean, none of us would even be here if maybe here without you. And us to do this here on the San Jose softball channel for the last 5 years, and really getting this going. I mean, there's been one person that's been part of every single podcast, whether it's been commentary or not, and to be able to have you here, the biggest milestone that we'll probably ever have is just as there's nothing that can really be said to show the appreciation that has to me, but everybody, just especially over the last 5 years, really. Here we are starting the 4th. Chevelle Christian will tags 2, 3, 4 come.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. I think for you, just the heart and soul of putting this together and having that connection from the field to share what's happening. People get to watch, and it's a big part of keeping this game alive. It's really grown over the years, and from all levels. And I think here at San Jose City, we take pride in, represent the sport and the young women that play, and having this profession of what you do to broadcast the game. It just makes it that much more unique, and I think they appreciate you more than you realize. So again, I know I keep saying thank you, but thank you to be here for the 100th broadcast. It's amazing. You don't realize how quickly, one game after another and after another, and for me, 34 years later, I have to say, I'm okay with being done with coaching. You don't realize all that you've done to put the broadcast together. So thank you.
So 2-1 to Christian. On the ground, and Fulton not able to got the base runner. What it would be scored as, and at least up here, we're going to call that a hit. So first hit of the game for the Jags. be one on for DJ Martinez. And first pitch is on the outside, strike one. There's a couple other, there's many big moments, but another one that really stands out was from the 2023 season, and it was in the first round, the first regional round against Sac City. You guys dropped the first game in this series, and actually had the honor of going out with you guys after that game. And really, the only thing that was talked about is, hey, we're down, but it doesn't matter. And Martinez,
Oh, yeah.
DJ, with a home run, and if my memory is correct, that is the first of her.
Nice. Pretty cool to see that. Good job, DJ Martinez, on a 2-run home run.
Well, how about that? First 3 innings, not so good. Home run for the career of DJ Martinez, and not have that time to tie the game.
Yeah, pretty fun. Pretty fun to see that, huh, Steve? Like you had mentioned earlier, what's it going to take? I think get that base hit by Chevelle, and then DJ just coming up and going over right center field fence, and yeah, that's good to see. Good to see for the Jags.
Right after all that excitement, McKenna still with the ground out, and on the first pitch, but this is kind of a similar moment to the opening game last year, where the first pitch of the season ended up being the first career home run in what ended up being a blowout victory. And I'm just remember sitting here, not here, right, just trying to ease into everything. And the first pitch, and on the first pitch is goes over the fence. And the fence. That's another memorable moment that happened here on the broadcast.
Yeah, Steve, I think going back to, you mentioned Sac City and going there to play on the road and the super regional, and obviously you came with us to broadcast. To lose the first game, yeah, it was tough, and we realized that our back was against the wall. So we went home for the evening and had a few team talks, but the next morning they got back up and we went out there, and we knew we had to win the first game, otherwise it was going to be our season. So to see that, the girls came out and battled, and we got the first game and were able to see us into the second game. And so we knew, again, Sac City was going to be on our coattails. But I remember trying to decide who to start for pitching, and Elena Valdez had done a lot of the innings for us that season, but I handed the ball to Chelsea Raymond, and she, came out and did her job and got the win. So it was a great victory, and I remember she hit a home run as well, so that was pretty exciting. But we definitely have a lot of memories.
Yeah, and I was about to actually, I was about to bring up the third game in that series. Right? Chelsea gets the start, right? Yeah, the start means most people wouldn't be like, might not be the most excited about that decision. I mean, with all respect to her, but she ends up getting the start in that game, and she's in the lineup hitting. throwing a great game. You could argue that it was the best game of her career, and Reyes not only gets the win, but late in that game she gets her first career home run. It's a highly emotional moment. This one just gets fouled. Highly emotional moment. It pretty much put the game out of reach at that point. At that point, and I was only able to see everything if they from the top of the stands that they have there, but within the team, what was that moment for you guys?
Wow. Well, first off, I think the team was just elated because the momentum, after winning the second game, the momentum shifted, to San Jose City. And I feel like throughout the game, don't get me wrong, Sac City was battling every single inning like we were, but I felt like after Chelsea hit that home run, and this is like, this is amazing because here's someone that wasn't in the lineup to as an offensive, you know, threat for us, and we had her just mainly pitching, but to do both, she just is like, if you're going to give me the opportunity, coach, I'm going to do what I have to do. And so for that to happen, I know that goes down as one of the top memories of her career, I would imagine. But like you said, the excitement of the team. I remember we went home on the way on the bus ride, and they're like, "Coach, we need to stop and get something to eat." So obviously we did that, and then they wanted to get the coffees, and so we had to stop and get that special. Let's go get what we need to celebrate. So it was a good day, a good way to have us and Super Regionals victorious.
For San Jose City in the home half.
The ground out from
2
Quinonez
runs on 2 hits.
will end the inning here in the fourth for the Jags.
Score now 2-2.
2 runs, 2 hits left on, and a 2-run first career home run for DJ Martinez to tie the game. And man, I'm sorry, I have to do this one more time, just to get a insight from insight from the field. I apologize. I wouldn't be doing my job. I don't care. But your job. 1 week later, Super Regional against West Valley. Go and take game one in convincing fashion, and came back out the next day. Yeah, they over in Saratoga, and not only ended up taking a surprising 2-game
Leading off the top of number 5.
but Elena Valdez ended the series with a strikeout. The whole San Jose side, stadium is excited. You end up doing your legendary slide into the huddle. On the ground, the second, go to first. Time for the first out. But especially with what had happened with Sac City the year before, like, did that really carry anything coming out of regionals and going into the next season, especially that those 2 victories were the only 2 against West Valley that year.
Yeah, I think after going from SAC on the road to win the regional and then into Super Regionals, we knew it was going to be a barn burner because one, West Valley was having a phenomenal year, and being at home, you get to host. So we were going across town to go play them. So yeah, the momentum was there. However, like I said, both teams knew each other, players knew each other. The respect was there, and for us to go and just get focused and have a good weekend. You know, a lot of times when you win the games or when you compete, it's everything's got to go your way, and there's a little bit of luck involved. And I think we had everything going, so it was a good week for us, or weekend, I should say.
And that's
Back to the top of the order. Starting lane.
start the inning, and Renee Parker going on 3 pitches. Bring Panuto back up, and she struck out her last time up, that being to Maya Medina. Pitch is just to look ahead into this season. Is there anything from teams that are on the schedule this year that you have seen in the past that maybe you have seen many times, and you knew exactly what was coming, and when that maybe Coach Zai I might not recognize right away, just because she's not used to seeing things from this side.
Yeah, that's a great question, Steve. I think over the years, especially coaching, you come to learn some of the coaches that you play year after year and some of their tendencies. So, you know, for me, I think knowing, I won't name names, but knowing some of the coaches, maybe when they might try to squeeze a run in. I've seen a coach do it with 2 strikes, you know, so being kind of a little bit more when they had runners at third and you're playing against them and you're like, I'm wondering if it's that time at this point to do that. So I think the tendencies, or maybe when they steal, if you kind of get that gut feeling, they might be stealing or possibly hit and run. So I think she's going to be all right. She's been in this game. She knows the game. So she's going to start picking up on a few things as well.
3 down.
So that previous play will end it for Cabrillo in the 5th. No runs, no hits, and nobody left on. This might be a little weird not seeing us go to a mid-inning break, but that could probably be understood. For us, this is a moment because outside of the occasional post-game interview, like we've never had with me. We've never had Coach Rooney on here, so to get a insight on with the team that only current and former players, and it'll be 1 out.
Second baseman.
And it'll be 1 out.
Second baseman.
For Bell Walker. And she's out her last time up. Get out of here! Center, and it goes off the wall. Walker into second, and it's safe.
That's a great hit, Steve. Thought it was going over. Just missed, but great hustle. Got a double out of that, so great job by Bell Walker.
Center fielder, Aaron Carchara.
Great 4th inning, and now getting is going again here in the 5th. And Vergara coming up. And first pitch on the outside. Strike 1. But it does feel a little bit weird doing this broadcast and not having a particular back when the school's radio program and in time, but Walker will advance over the third on the play. He not only he has been the voice, it's like really say that there's not, especially here, like there really isn't anybody that could ever. Hopefully we can, and then we're able to get him for this milestone. Hopefully we can get him in here for at least for one game, so we can get our usual BS as that everybody has been used to in the 99 previous broadcasts that we've had.
Yeah, we'll have to see if his schedule. I know he's been pretty busy with his work and then also getting into some baseball playing. So if he does come, you just have to let me know. I'll also have to see what my schedule looks like, and you never know. Maybe we could do a trio or something, you know.
And that would literally be the first time that we have ever people when two people on it. That would for sure be everybody is 3, and that will end it. Jalen Corona going down on strikes. No runs, a hit, and 1 left.
For the Jags in the 5th. No,
on to the 6th inning. Inning here at LadyJag Field. It'll be the 2, 3, and 4 for Cabrillo with Cameron starting things off. And she comes up 0 for 1, rounding out her last time up.
Leading off to Cabrillo 6. Left fielder, Cameron Giannis.
But again, you've gone against pretty much every NorCal team that there's a probably that there ever has been. But is there anything in this particular matchup that is really to look out for, or something that all of us would look at as just a normal thing that is really something unique to this team or this particular matchup?
Yeah, I think over the years, Cabrillo, having Coach Christie being at the helm for the years that she has built. They always run a competitive program. I call it scrappy, like they're scrappy players. They never count themselves out. I enjoy playing her. I respect her as the head coach, so I always made sure that obviously there was games that were on our conference. This happens to be a non-game, so getting an extra game with her to play this year, although I'm not down on the field, but I knew it would be a good matchup. So they're always a team that you enjoy to play. So
pops into right field, going over the head of Castro, and it is a one-out double for Grace Stryker.
And to play for the Seahawks, the shortstop, Ryan Morgan.
But this is a big matchup that I'm sure everybody would be curious about, and it is the absolute battle that is you and Nicole Borg. It doesn't matter like what the season record is or what the head-to-head is. That is always a competitive and strategic game. So it is a game. So what? What was that matchup like for you?
Steve, first off, I mean,
Foul.
San Mateo and Nicole Borg, she's built a tremendous program there. They're super competitive, well coached, and like I said, very respectful of her. Yeah, you can't make mistakes. When you play them, you have to be on everything you do. You have to execute. You have to be able to make the routine outs, and you can't give them anything, because if you give the door for them, they'll take it. They'll walk in and take advantage. So the strategic part of it is know who to pitch to and who to pitch around, and hope that you can be successful by getting playing solid defense. It's always a gamer. It's a game day when we play that. It's like you have to have your game face on, and Jag ball is at its best. So
Again, gets this one through for a base hit, and this is the first and third for Bailey Fulton, who comes up 2-2. So a couple years ago, myself and Matt Falcon tried to put together our left. Cabrillo back into the lead. But don't necessarily want to put you on the spot. But a couple years ago, actually when we recorded our behind the scenes video, we had Matt put together like an all-time starting nine. We don't necessarily have to do that, but like, is there any particular individual or any particular quality that you would always look for or emphasize in your everyday lineup?
So in regards to a player being who they are and what they bring to the team.
No, yeah. So like, is there any like individual player that like really says like what Jag ball is like even if it was before we started these broadcasts, like is there any person that like really like, hey, this person is what Jag ball is really about, or is there like a particular quality that you always wanted in the team?
Right. Okay, great question. Um, wow. And to just be able to pick one with all the players we've had over the years, probably be tough for me to do because so many, but I'll tell you the quality that I looked for as a coach was first off, to buy into the program, and we call it Jag Ball, and that includes academics. So being able to be academically minded and understand successful academically and what help we have on campus to get those successes. Secondly, how do you be that all-around student athlete? So I think for me, I look for someone that's going to commit every single day for you and give what they can to improve and become that player that we ultimately enjoy coaching, and that's a coachable player.
Number 6. 1 run on 3 hits.
As well, in the inning for Cabrillo, a run on 3 hits.
The bottom of the 6th, the score now. Cabrillo 3.
With a 3 lead to the bottom of the inning. Bottom of the 6th here at LadyJag Field, and there's a pitching change for Michaela Ugin come in to pitch. Keller will and Janessa. The moment is and Chevelle Christie will start off for the Jag here in the 6th. Justin of one career broadcasts San Jose City Softball Championship. We have many more as NorCal Sports TV will broadcast for ones we have. We can still do whatever we want. BS. And made by Bailey Fulton for the first out. And that'll bring DJ Martinez up.
The catcher.
And coming off her first back in the 4th. So one thing that a lot of people, people probably have noticed over the years that a lot of players come back. The what is the is that really make it the high amount of a high number of players, returning players, and what has it been in that makes people want to come here?
Be a part of our program and come back. So I'm going to hold that thought for a moment. We're going to do some technical things.
This one went out.
Yeah, no. Is this one out? Or?
No, that one should be.
Is that one?
All right, so we had a little bit of an issue. One of our headsets went out, but the point, but yeah, if the point that you started to that you started to go on about what keeps bringing everybody back.
Yeah, Steve. So mention it as far as them coming and coaching, and I mean bringing them back is a bonus for our program because they know what it's like to be, a JAG ball player and a part of the program. So the knowledge that the assistants have and being able to know what it takes to be, the best on the field and both in the classroom as well. So that knowledge helped me as a head coach to be who I became, and the successes were predicated by the assistant coaches that were surrounding myself and the program. So yeah, to have the former coaches come back or former players come back to coach was for me so beneficial, and man, I enjoyed that. We had some great times and great sharing of knowledge. So to make us who we are.
The 0-1 to ceiling is on the inside, and she just got out of the way of it, and it goes all the way back. That'll allow Martinez to advance over on a wild pitch. So there's many things that your teams were known for over the years, but one thing that could always be said about every one of your teams is solid fielding. Didn't really see many errors, and when they did happen, like they weren't really costly errors. Like here's the errors. Like how did you get that out of this team every year?
Well, I mean, for us, we put a lot of emphasis on defense, and to make yourself be a good defensive player, you have to work at it. So we would do what's called every days, and every days are just working on your fundamentals of fielding, glove work and being able to make sure we're playing catch with focus and understanding that defense is going to, like people say, and I believe, it's going to win you championships. So, if you could score one run and hold that team to zero, obviously you know the outcome. So for me as a coach, defense, I love defense. That was like my number one. I loved being a part of it. I loved doing it, having the girls compete at the different positions and placing them where I thought they needed to be during game to be successful. So yeah, just putting the work in, Steve, I think was the key, and they knew what it took to be a solid defense. So we were lucky for that.
as Ceiling grounds out to third. So 1 on, 2 outs for Zambrano. And the first pitch is behind Zambrano.
Just a bit inside.
Martinez on second. And the 1 out is down and taken for a ball.
Has to be a great time, Steve, for a base hit, you know, just to tie this game up. And like it's been all game, it's been back and forth, just a great battle between Cabrillo and San Jose.
And DJ's got the speed, so anything where she can run, she's capable of scoring. Oh, so something that we noticed in the last 4 or 5 years of your coaching career. Number 11 was in the leadoff spot of every game. It doesn't matter who the person was. Whoever was wearing number 11 was in the leadoff spot, whether it be Malaya Street or whether it be Street, Felix, even last year. Was that last year? Was that just a coincidence that it just happened to be the person wearing the same number?
Steve, I had no idea until you tell me right now. I guess if you want to play for City and you want to wear number 11, you better be out there. That's all I could say. I had no idea that was going on. We just put people up, you know, a person that's gonna obviously, you know, take some pitches, kind of set the tone for our team, and have some speed, be able to, you know, bunt, hit, and you know, as well as move runners as needed. So you just want that ultimate player. But yeah, I didn't know that, Steve. Thanks for giving me that point.
Yeah, and on that note, the inning ends. And it is Quinones grounding out. And no runs, no hits, and 2 left on. And Cabrillo leads 3-2. Top of the 7th here in San Jose, 8-9-1 for Cabrillo, and it will be Danielle Keller starting things off. She's 0 for 2 after grounding out last time. First pitch from is on the ground to third. Corona over to Zambrano for the first out. And that will bring up Renee Parker, who reached on an error and struck out last time.
Center fielder, Renee Parker.
So there's a a play that you would put on it on that is probably the one I believe your most famous one, which is the first and third steal. How did you use it, and is there like a particular time that you would look to use it?
Right. I think a lot goes into first and thirds, and as coaches, you can kind of use it in your advantage. So I think a couple things. One, who's up to bat for you? What kind of hitter are we dealing with? Maybe a power hitter or slapper. How can you utilize that? I think two, you have runners on for, what kind of speed, and can maybe the runner first, create madness so score. So I think a lot goes into first and some chaos. And I think the minute you do that defensively against teams, that's when you're going to have that success of scoring a run.
And Renee Parker with the showing off her speed with a single.
Back to the top of the order. The catcher.
And you've players that has had ears like that, right? Hey, going back to the first season that I was here with Lily Resendez and Keelan Spencer and going back to and more recently with Felix, like listen, did you specifically look to get those players airs up as often as you could, and is there anything that you did with them that you would probably not do as often with somebody else?
Yeah, I think those three players you mentioned, the camaraderie for all of them, obviously they had speed. So, you hear that term speeds can kill, and, right there for Cabrillo, they had a slapper bunner up with speed. So if you can locate your ball off bat in a certain area, then you can find ways to get on. So I think, yes, to have the three that you mentioned, they could bunt, they could hit, they could slap. And I think having all those three things create havoc for your defense, like I mentioned earlier.
And Panuto takes a 4-pitch walk. Not something that you usually see from a Jags pitcher. But that'll bring Cameron Yamas up, and she's looking for her first hit of the season.
Yeah, you hate to see walks. Pre's very good about hitting her spots, and she doesn't usually walk people. So you'll every now and again you're going to give up a walk, but if it's continuous, then it's really hard for your defense to, get involved and make a play. And so I always try to encourage them to at least stay in the zone so that, the game can keep playing behind you.
And Yamas with a couple foul balls. Parker on first, Parker on second, Panuto on first, went out in the inning. The 0-2 it's on the ground and foul. So going over the years, is there a particular coach or particular team that for some reason just made it more difficult than any other team or the other team? So the team, there's obviously the San Mateo matchup and the West Valley matchup, but is there any team or any coach that you've gone against that it was just always a tough matchup no matter who each team had or no matter how the season was going?
Yeah, Steve, that's a great question to ask. I mean, over the years, there's been a lot. I think two keep in mind, and both coaches are retired now, but one was Darcy Brownow from Sierra, and I got Matt here give him a little fist pump. But Darcy was, top of the line coach, very respectful, knew the game, competed. We had a lot of great games together, one-run games, battling at state tournament, battling in the regionals. So I would say Darcy, definitely, and then I'm gonna go with probably from Ohlone College
The
because
regular
she
first striker.
not only knew the game, but she was a strategic coach, out there on the field. So she was always thinking what was going to be next and how does she set her team up for success. So she was someone that her and I became really good friends, not only on the field coaching against each other, but off the field, being able to kind of have our conversations about teams and how to make our teams better by kind of giving each other information or maybe just helping each other, having conversations about the game and what strategies to use and how to motivate the student athletes that we've had over the years. So definitely Donna and Darcy, Sierra program and Ohlone program were both programs that we always were back and forth with. So
Also run the scores. And RBI for Strecker, though the third is not in time. And Cabrillo now takes a 4-2 lead. So Parker scores from third and Panuto advances over.
Shortstop, O'Brien Morgan.
talking earlier, Steve, about speed. And, they had the right person on for Cabrillo. She's got a lot of speed, and it was a great, a nice hit to right field. But, man, G came up with a great throw to the plate. It was a close play, but because of speed, they were able to get another run, on the board. So, again, that can kill. If you've got speed, you can do some things with it. So.
Is flied into left, and Donahoe will make the catch for the third out, but not with some damage being done. A run on 2 hits.
For Cabrillo on the top of the 7th. 1 run on 2
and
hits.
2 left on.
Into the home half of the 7th. The score now.
And it is 4-2 Seahawks.
We were down and we needed a few runs, and I remember her getting to bat and
leading off the 7th, right fielder
strikes on her, and she hit the next pitch that they threw. It was too close, and she hit one out. So I believe it was a 2 or 3 run homer for us to take a lead, and that was exceptional on Coach Ziley Augustarn because she was struggling a little bit in that game, but she knew that this at-bat was one that she needed to focus in on and be who she needed to be at that particular time. So success came through, and the Jags were successful that game because of the long ball that she hit. So that was a great win for us.
That's might be a little out of context. That takes for the viewers here, but asked Coach Rooney about a particular win that really stands of the over 950 that the almost 950 that she had. That really stood out for her. But here we're at bottom of the 7th. Could be the last chance for the Jags here today, and it is Angie Castro now with a 2-1 count. And the pitch from, and it's fouled off. So Castro, Walker, and Vergara. For the Jags. And 2-2. Is popped up and out of play.
Yes, at this point, you just got to get people on base. Just find a way, and G's battling for sure. So she's got to own this at bat and find a way to get to first base and pass the bat. See if we can get a little rally going here.
2-2. On the outside, ball 3. So Castro setting herself up to make this a big moment. Bottom of the 7th, need a hit, need a base runner, and you need to score. Nobody on, nobody out. 3-2. Outside, ball 3. I'm sorry, ball 4. So Castro works a leadoff walk.
Great at bat for her, and definitely took it for the team and found a couple pitches that weren't strikes and stayed off of them, and the ones that she did, she fouled a few straight back, so she was definitely there, and great at bat. Way to find a way to get on base.
First pitch to Walker is on the outside, ball 1. And Belle Walker doubled off the fence her last time up. Anything like that, and one could potentially go on the board. One-0 from Ugin is inside and taken for a ball. Well, is fouled off. Castro on first with nobody out. The pitch from Ugin is popped up and out of play.
Yeah, Belle's working her count as well, so she's owning that box and looking for a strike she could foul off and get a pitch she can hit. So she's trying to pass the bat as well, find a way to get on base.
And 2-2. And this one hit her. So Castro and coming off the bench here in a big spot. And there will also be a pitching change
It's
for Cabrillo.
at the plate for the Jags.
And waiting to see what Coach Rottinger
After the straight line.
does. And it will be Danielle Keller going back into the circle. But in a moment like this, right? It is right. There have been many of them of them just in the last 5 years, but years obviously many more. But situation like this, down two, where you're down by two, who right? You've now gotten a couple runners on. There's on, and it's this particular situation. Nobody out, couple runners on, right? Right. Does anything change, or do you just say, or anything change, or is agent change, or do you just say, say, hey, we've started any out great. Let's just see what happens.
Well, I see Coach Xiley has made a change as far as bringing Shelby to bat. And, I think that's a good move because, Ari is more of a slapper hitter, bunter. With first and second, you're down by two. So I think that's a good move. Let Shelby come in and, see what she can do. So I think at this point, they bring their starter back in. So they've seen this pitcher, and hopefully Shelby's learned and watched throughout the game so she could just go be herself and, again, keep the little rally going and see if the Jags can come back and take this win. That'd be great. Great start to the season. So you have to see what happens.
First pitch on the ground to short, third for one, and that's all that they'll get. So Castro gets the force out on a fielder's choice, and it'll be one out for Corona.
Third baseman, Jay Corona.
So Walker gets over to second. Apostolo will take the base at first. And first pitch is on the inside for strike one. And the 0-1 is fouled off almost into the Jags dugout. And brings up a particular memory for me. 2018 playing against last in at De Anza. Probably one of the first games I ever. Steph Troja fouling one into the dugout, hit the pole right behind me. I barely got out of the way. Man.
Yeah, you got to pay attention.
That was a fun day.
You got to pay attention over there. You never know, Steve. The balls are hot off the bat, and you just never know what's going to take place. So, yeah.
And this one is on the ground to third, and another force out. As Walker gets tagged out at third.
The shortstop, Chanel.
So now 2 on, 2 out for Quizzian. This one is popped up and out of play. From Keller. It's on the outside for a ball. One. is in the dirt. And Panuto doing a great job of preventing the ball from continuing further. And this one is high for a ball. So Apostolo on second. Corona on first with 2 outs in the inning. Jack could use a big hit right here. 3-1 is outside, ball 4. That works too. The base is loaded and a good hitter coming up. DJ Martinez. She's 1 for 1. Walked a couple times and has a 2-run homer, which came in the 4th. A double, likely double ties the game. And the first pitch is in for a called strike. So Martinez is up and Ceiling is on deck. On the ground to second, throw to first in time, and will end the game.
We'll see the Jags at least, battled in the end. It's better to see that than go 1, 2, 3. Cabrillo as well. So it's a good start to the season. You want the Jags to get the win. It's going to be a long season. They'll learn. They'll learn from this and.
Comes in and opening for Coach Ziley Augenstein. It's game 1 of the season. You got 20. You got 39 others and others, and there are going others and looking for a lot of great moments. It's here. They're going forward for Coach Augenstein and Coach Rooney. Been probably the biggest honor that I've ever had to be able to have you here on the channel, be able to talk stuff with you and it's been an incredible honor to have you here.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. I appreciate you asking me to be here, and I had a lot of fun today, so thank you.
Yeah, so that will do it for today's game, as Cabrillo will with a 4-2 victory here to start the season. And the next time that we will be here with you will be next Friday, a doubleheader with Taft right here at LadyJag Field. And the game will also be here on the San Jose City softball channel. As of right now, we are not sure if we'll be doing the first game of the series of that 2-game doubleheader, but we will for sure have the second game, and it will be right here on the San Jose City softball channel. Cabrillo starts the season off with a 1-0 record, and we'll see you right here at LadyJag Field